Alright guys, this is Ryan Stevenson. I know a few of you have been following me on the Bolter Chainsword Forum, but I thought I'd give you more insight into my army, how it's looking at the moment. The army's near enough finished. I've got a few more details to add here and there, but at the moment it's done. Yeah, there's quite a few conversions, but there's actually all of them's converted. Everyone's converted. I've used the Sanguinary Guard bodies with the cyber shoulder pads. I think it's a Roman Centurion, I think it is. Or sorry, Spartans. The Spartan shoulder pads. And there's also a high elf banner in there as well, which I had spare lying around. Both Dread Knights, that one and that one, are both converted as well. The spears were just an idea I had to do. It was just like, for the rest of the army is going to have halberds, so that they need to look badass as much as they can. The thing is though, they look badass, but they're doing shit in games. I've actually dropped them from my army now because I've tried to make them work and I just can't seem to make their points back at all. So I dropped out the 2 Dread Knights for the 3 Riflemen Dreads, who are just kicking ass at the moment. There's a huge, they're nasty, they're so good for what to do, and they're so cheap as well. It's like 135 points for 4 shots of strength 8, and they can move and fire. It's unreal. It's great. I use them with the Tech Marines Bolter defences to work out a nasty little tactic, and yeah, I'm pretty enjoying it. I've got 19 paladins at the moment. There's 10 in that squad, 9 in that squad. They have 2 psi cannons, the other one have 4 to maximise obviously wind allocation purposes and stuff. Start off here between the Vindicator Assassin. Was the very first model I actually did for the army. I based it off the Eldar Guardian, and with the Dark Eldar rifle for the sniper weapon, or the extra rifle, sorry, and the Space Marine Scout head with some green stuff added, just to make it look more like a Vindicator Assassin. I done him at the very start with the project. I started this army back in December, like I said, but he was the first model and he was done just after Space Marine was released, so that was end of September. The Librarian, Mr. Constantine Valder, was in fact the original Draco model I had. I changed out loads of things. I had a backpack and stuff and a helmet, and I wasn't pleased with it at all. I gave him a longer weapon. I love the look of the halberds on the Custodes, I'm not going to lie, they look fantastic. And to make it's my own kind of wee personal touch to the army. As you can probably see, the Sanguinary Guard weapon here. So the Librarian has a Nemesis Force weapon, Nemesis Force sword, sorry, but I've just attached it to the weapon so it looks like a halberd. It's a bloody big halberd, but it's a halberd. Draco is obviously the centrepiece of my army. I was looking for ages trying to find good artwork for the Emperor, and I found some good artwork and I just stuck to it. The model is based off the Red Scorpion commander, Cullen. I got the head from Huron, I think it was Huron, from Forgeworld as well. So yeah, there's a few bits and pieces added. There's Dark Angel pieces, there's Space Marine, Lord of the Rings for the wings as well. The flames. The cloaks of the Terminator Lord. A few bit of green stuff added as well for extra measure. The sword was actually made longer. I changed the sword because I was getting a wee bit of a hard time off one of my mates saying it looked too, the sword he had on him looked too small, and I kind of looked at it and went, yeah, he's right. Yeah. Type Marine, like I said, was just an add-on at the last minute. Power weapon and bolter. He's got the old metal servo arm I had lying around, and Dark Angel pieces as well. He's only just there for the paladins, I suppose, because there's a nasty Death Star I have involving these guys here, and Mr. Draigowing, the librarian, and it's just, yeah, it's quite fierce. It's quite nasty. The objective markers actually came from, well, just bits and pieces I had. They were inspired from the artwork on the first Heretic novel, and I ran out of ideas for objective markers and decided just to add these guys in instead. They look okay. It's not bad for a couple of hours work, but hey ho. Yeah, my second unit of paladins is 9 man. I've got 2 side cannons. There's one and there's another one working at the back there. Ignore this guy here. He's actually not finished yet. I found him in my cabinet after I finished painting the rest of the army, and I realised that shit, I didn't paint him. And I've yet to time to finish him off. The Storm Ravens were actually one of the first things I wanted to add to the army. I know they weren't pre-heresy and stuff, but I do quite like the model. Well, I do like the model now after I converted it and fixed it up a wee bit. When I first seen the model when it was leaked in the net about 2 years ago, it just looked like a giant toaster. It just looked horrible. So I changed the turret, which was one of the major things I didn't like about it, and I took off the air vent. This air vent here. The air vent is near enough just plastic card filled with green stuff and sanded down. I have got more plans to add like prayers to the wings and stuff, to maybe kind of jazz it up a wee bit and make them look more unique. The Dread Knights were, like I said, one of my favourite models from the Grey Knights. A lot of guys don't like them, but I think they look cool. I had to make them a wee bit more different compared to the normal Dread Knight. I like the Dread Knight model, but it's the lack of poses that seriously puts me off. I've only got 2 of them in my army, but I would like to have one more, but I just don't see the use for them now. I'm a wee bit upset about it actually. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I spent a lot of time on these guys. The weapons were probably the biggest conversion. It's a little bent, just a little squint. But yeah, the staffs actually came from cocktail stirrers, with the great sword added on. Elder tabards, a few other bits and pieces. I also have the shoulder pads and heads from Cyber again on there. 3 Rifleman Dreads. That's 2 basic ones and a Vendread, because a Vendread's are badass, but they're quite expensive. Points wise, they're quite steep. I think that's it. I think that's pretty much it. I hope you guys like my army. I know Custodes for Grey Knights has been done to death, but I wanted to have my own take on it and see what I could come up with, and I'm really pleased with the result. I bought this army for £500 from scratch. Everything was built from scratch, and I just added things to it, and just yeah, I'm pleased with how it's looking good. And I've seen we got loads of comments on it, how it looks ace and stuff, so that like kind of boosts my confidence a wee bit as well. But yeah. Right guys, I'm going to go. Just want to say thanks a lot to all the guys who follow me on Bolter Chainsword. And it's also worth a mention to have a look at a guy called Honda, from Texas I think he's from. His army looks ace, it's a Custodes army as well. So yeah, check it out if you can. And I'll see you later. Right, cheers, bye bye.